Welcome to Watermelon. Staredowns are an essential part of combat sports, helping promoters to draw in the crowd. For fighters, it's an opportunity to intimidate their opponent and to get in their heads. But even in this intense atmosphere, there's always room for a good laugh. Here are 50 hilarious face-off moments in MMA and boxing. The haka is a traditional war dance of New Zealand's Maori people, performed to express strength and unity. Shane Young thought it would be a great idea to honor his Maori heritage with this dance, but no one understood what happened, so it looked very awkward. Look at Dana White's face. I bet he thinks this guy needs to be drug tested. Angela Hill found a great way to combine her work and her hobby.
Versus 5th-ranked Jessica Andrade.
Fighting game enthusiasts easily recognize her cosplay as Shagat, a character from Street Fighter. I think Jessica Andrade has no idea what was happening. Standing at 7 feet, Stefan Struve was the tallest athlete in UFC history. In 2011, the Dutch faced Pat Barry, who at the time was the shortest fighter in the heavyweight division. Barry stood at 5'11", and to match his opponent's height, he decided to stay on the scales. This officer did everything in his power to avoid looking at Misha Tate, but for one brief moment, nature got the better of him.
The title, tomorrow's your big night. Give us your thoughts.
I'm excited.
I hope his wife didn't watch this. Russians thought Dotsik was the craziest fighter in the world, but then he faced Geronimo dos Santos. If you're a young MMA fighter looking for a girlfriend, skip the models and find someone who'll bake muffins you can share with your opponents.
Muffin time!
Unfortunately, no one's going to eat them before a fight, and there's a good reason for that.
Right after, I was like, man, next time I'm gonna put some some pots, so if I lose, the guy's gonna test positive, so I cannot lose.
Mackenzie Dern and Amanda Cooper had one of the most awkward stare-downs ever, missing a handshake 3 times in 12 seconds. Tyson Fury made 6'2", 210-pound Sefer Seferi look like a child. Elias Theodorou might not be the strongest fighter in the UFC, but he definitely has the best hair in the business. To match his glorious hair, Sam Alvey showed up to the weigh-in wearing a wig. Billy Joe Saunders' son decided his dad needed some help and did this. When Brian Ortega faced off against the Korean Zombie, he began looking for something in his pockets. Suddenly, he pulled his hand out and crossed his fingers in front of his opponent. It was a finger heart, a gesture popularized by K-pop band that symbolizes love and affection.
At the Kingdom Arena, starting the Ria.
Who's boss in this gym?
23.
If I were in Khalil Roundtree's shoes, I'd probably shit myself. But as an observer who watches it safely from home, I find the next footage absolutely hilarious. Wagner Prado's UFC debut was frustrating, as an eye poke from Phil Davis ended the fight with a no contest. 2 months later, they faced off again, and Prado clearly held no grudge over the incident. At the stare-down, he asked Davis to play along and recreate that famous scene from the Three Stooges, demonstrating how to properly block an eye jab.
Blame me this time.
During stare-downs, Dana White is always on high alert. Tensions can escalate in an instant, and the UFC president has to be ready to jump in and break up any trouble. Jon Jones and Anthony Johnson knew this all too well. So, they decided to prank Dana with a fake fight. In that state, Dana is ready to react to every noise and sudden move a fighter makes. So, it's no surprise that Tony Ferguson managed to scare him with an unexpected screamer. While many see their opponent as an enemy, for Sean O'Connell, they're just co-workers.
And the fight is picked. Joe Silva picks that fight for us. You know, we don't have to be jerks to one another.
At his stare-downs, Sean doesn't try to intimidate them, but to lighten the mood with some playful antics.
Matt Van Buren, Sean O'Connell, tomorrow night. Next up.
To Anthony Perosh's surprise, the stare-down suddenly turned into a game of rock, paper, scissors. Known as Dragon, Dan Spohn was offered to hit a dragon piñata. This could have been a great ad for drinks, but no one saw it coming. According to a common stereotype, women hate when another woman wears the same outfit as them. As it turns out, even men in the UFC face the same problem. Despite countless attempts to set up the fight, Khabib Nurmagomedov and Tony Ferguson never met in the ring. However, during one of their face-offs, Ferguson once again managed to catch Dana White off guard.
Third time they've been scheduled to fight, now you're just hours away. Whoa, and Tony Ferguson legitimately scared.
Using just a single pair of socks, David Haye aimed to promote men's boxing among women.
Saturday night, we've seen a big draw in his career. From Collinsborough, the White Rhino, David.
On Jimmy Kimmel's show, Conor McGregor confessed that he'd like to step in the ring with a monkey.
You know, it would be great if you could put the chimpanzee in a robe and have it march into the ring with you.
So far, no one has done anything like it, except for Valerie Letourneau, who brought her French bulldog to the stare-down.
Yeah, because if you're going to go in and square off with Joanna Champion, you want to be feeling as good as you could. So the 115 fight, if that had been at a different weight.
Chernika Johnson couldn't keep a straight face while staring down Ellie Scottney. That's right, if you look closely, you could spot the second fighter in the video too. The fight between Israel Adesanya and Yoel Romero ranks high on many lists of the most boring MMA bouts ever. Neither of them showed they could put on a good fight, but at least they proved they could dance really well during the stare-down. Josh Thompson is a great guy who truly loves kids. After a fan Q&A, he invited a few kids to pose for a face-off. That little boy in the headband looks like he's ready for war. After missing weight 3 times in his 7 UFC fights, John Lineker did it again. This time, he had 1 extra hour to cut 0.7 pounds. Ian McCall, who was second to the scales, decided to troll Lineker by drinking a large box of coconut water right in front of him. Lineker did manage to make weight, but the fight was cancelled due to a sudden illness from McCall. Lineker called it karma. I wish someone would take care of me the way Sean O'Connell takes care of his opponents. Have you ever watched a staredown and expected the fighters to kiss each other? Sometimes that's exactly what happens.
Let's get the pictures.
On the right. And that was foolish, wasn't it, from Chisora? That was so...
At the face-off, Jessica Andrade surprised Rose Namajunas by giving her a real rose.
Para campeã Rose Namajunas.
But if you think that's sweet and romantic, just watch how brutally this fight ended in the octagon. Shim Gun-Oh interrupted the face-off to do something more important, presenting flowers to the ring girl. Imagine the reaction of her boyfriend when a 300-pound fighter hit on his girlfriend. You can be a grown 205-pound man who punches others for money, but blowing bubbles is fun at any age.
Safe bet someone's getting knocked out?
Yeah, I don't expect though. Somebody's gonna be looking at.
Here's what a stare down might look like if Chris Tucker ever fought Kevin Hart.
Kunnen we door? Ja? Oké, kijk elkaar aan.
Kevin Lee is well known for leaning heavily into trash talk, but you can't bother someone who can't even hear you. Tony Ferguson lives in his own universe, and that's why we all love him. There's no shame in throwing a little masquerade at the stare down when the new year is just around the corner. As practice shows, it's not necessary to intimidate your opponent at a stare down to win. Manny Pacquiao, one of the greatest boxers in history, never took them seriously. Every single time he faced off his opponents, he struggled to keep a straight face. He doesn't even know which way he needs to look. Matchmakers set up a fight between Gabby Garcia and Destiny Yarbrough, creating a truly unforgettable face-off. When John Jones and Rampage Jackson faced off for the first time, Rampage turned it into a joke. Well, I'm glad he didn't dry hump Jones like he did with the reporters who had to interview him.
Right now. Cut.
Alright, next question.
Alright, there we have it. Alright, well that's all we have with Rampage Jackson for the day. Thank you, Rampage.
Before his fight with Rafael Dos Anjos, Conor McGregor extended his hand for a handshake, something he almost never does. Dos Anjos didn't take it, leaving Conor standing there with his hand out for nearly half a minute. But he probably wasn't expecting the Brazilian to accept it anyway. The whole move was a reference to Mexican drug lord El Chapo, whom the Irishman seemed to be channeling.
I'm speaking Spanish. I'm dressed like El Chapo in his prime. I'm running this company. I'm running this company like half a wise guy.
The face-off between Paige Van Zandt and Michelle Watterson turned into an impromptu dance-off.
The karate hottie this weekend. Now look at these two young ladies having fun up there dancing. I would not want to go up on the stage and dance against my opponent.
Walker versus Chaz Skelly.
Henry Cejudo dubbed himself Triple C because he became a champion in 2 weight divisions and also won Olympic gold in wrestling. However, to MMA fans, he's better known as the king of cringe because of his face-off antics. And thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe for more content. See you next time!